Hey, welcome back to 33-year-old boomer ranting in the woods. Today I have some advice for you, and that is that you should move back in with your parents ASAP. Let's talk about this. So the economy is demolished. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but for decades now, it's been pretty evident that if you're a millennial, if you're a Gen Z, you're kind of in trouble. Now, there will be a lot of societal pressure which will try to keep you renting. You might feel ashamed for moving back. You might think that perhaps you failed if you've moved back. And truthfully, I think that at this point, pretty much all bets are off. I think that the smart people, the ones who will flourish in the following decades, I think it's the people who are willing to live in unconventional ways that will manage to do that. And the people who will follow the same recipe of you get a job, you get a mortgage, I think those people are in trouble, to say the least. Now, if you're smart, you will move back in with your parents. With certain jobs, you may not be able to do that, but especially if you live remote, especially if you can get a similar job around where your parents are, you should absolutely do this. Now, I understand that not everyone is able to do that. Not everyone has a family, not everyone's family is intact, or, and not everyone's parents are reliable, or, maybe your parents don't even want you to move back in. And that sucks. You have to find out some other way. But for those of us who can, for those of us for whom it would be bearable to move in back with our parents, I think you should absolutely do it. So, for example, my situation right now is as follows. I've been a freelance video editor for the past 8 years, and I've worked exclusively from home pretty much this entire time. Now, over the past few years, I've been doing the following. I've been traveling for part of the year, and then I would just stay with family for the other half. So 6 months, stay with family, and then go to 2 different countries and spend 3 months in each. I've been doing that for the past few years, and I'll be doing this again this year. So right now I'm in Norway. I've been here for about 2 months. I have a month left. And at the end of it, I'm going to go live with family for 6 months. Now, I'm very fortunate to have 3 grandparents who are still alive. They're all in their mid-80s. My granddad's 86. And so we all know they're not going to be around for that much longer. Now, in my family, we tend to live for a very long time. I've met 3 of my great-grandparents, all of whom died in their 90s. But you never know, And so given that they're kind of close at the end of their lives, and they're very aware of this, family becomes very important, and so it makes them very, very happy to have their grandchildren around. Especially in a country like Romania, where most young people are fleeing as fast as they can. Now, that's one of the advantages. The other one is that you'll save money. In fact, I've saved so much money on rent in the past few years, it's not even funny. Because I would spend 6 months with family, which is rent-free. It's not free, we'll get to that in a second, but it is rent-free. And then I would spend 6 months traveling, staying in Airbnbs, spending, an average of like £600-700 a month on Airbnbs, which if you then average that over a year, I've been spending £300 to £350 per year on rent, about $400, per month on rent. About $400 a month on rent on average, which in 2025, that's pretty good. Now you might say, oh, but what if I want to bring a girl back home? Oh, I can't bring her back to my parents. Look, if you're moving out because you're hoping to get girls, I'm sorry, it's just the math doesn't make any sense. You shouldn't. The reality is that if you don't have a girlfriend and you're just casually dating as a man in the current environment, you might get a girl here and there. It's not going to be every day. I promise you that. It's not going to be every week. And so you're paying all this rent to some stranger in the off chance that you might get lucky now and then. Look, if you want to do that, just live with your parents, and if you can't bring them home because your parents are there, just pay for a hotel. Pay for an Airbnb for a night. I promise you, I promise you that you will be far better off if you do that. I promise you that. Especially if you're watching this channel, you're into Vim, you're into your Arch Linux. Sorry, you're not gonna get lucky that often. And so look, we're having a one-on-one, we're having a heart-to-heart here. Don't be silly. Don't fall for the lies that society will try and sell you. Don't, like this, and this is not, by the way, this is not financial advice, do not sue me. But if you're expecting the economy to be like the boomer economy, if you think that we're just in a tough spot and in a few years everyone's going to live in mid-century homes and drive free cars and living the boomer lifestyle, I think you're going to have a very bad time if that's what you think is going to happen. If you spend 5 minutes reading up on the fundamentals of economics, you'll realize that there is nothing right now that points to that whatsoever. If you think that AI will bring in an era of prosperity, you have fallen for the lie that every CEO has peddled for years now. The reason why AI exists, and thankfully AI can't actually do our jobs, but the reason why AI exists is to be a big scary stick that your boss gets to use against you. You see, you don't have any negotiation power, I'm afraid. Sorry, AI is here, the world is moving at a fast pace, things are changing like crazy. I'm gonna have to pay you less. And if you don't like it, I'm gonna fire you and replace you with one of the 5 other people that I fired and whose work you're now doing. That's why AI exists. It's just a big scary stick. AI is not going to make, well, it's not going to make anyone rich. It's going to ruin a lot of people actually because of they've made investments that aren't going to pan out. AI is not going to bring forth an era of prosperity. Sorry. And so I think that if you're smart, you should be willing to live in a way that is a lot different from the norm. I think you should not give in to consumerism. I think you should do your best to live your life as fully as possible and understand that it's likely that the economy is gone for decades, for multiple generations, in fact. And you should prepare accordingly. You should try and save some money, have a bit of a war chest. If you can, move to a more rural area where you can actually afford some property, build a tiny house, do something. Like, don't pay rent for the rest of your life. Minimize your expenses, try and live closer to nature. Be a hippie. Go out and hug some trees. Go out and hug some trees. In fact, I'll do that right now. Let me just hug a tree. Where's that? Come here. I'm gonna hug this tree. Quite branchy. There you go. Hey, look, I'm hugging a tree. Now, I think we should be smart about this and prepare for a world where where you've created enough options for you that you can live a good life. Now, you could say, but Christian, what if you're wrong? What if the world is about to get really, really good and we're going to live better than the boomers did? What about that, eh? If that happens, you will have lost nothing by doing this. You would have lost nothing by saving your money and not wasting it. You will have lost nothing by spending time with your grandparents in their later years. You will have lost nothing by traveling and seeing the world and hugging trees in Norway. And you'll get to benefit from that prosperity anyway. Now, that's not going to happen. That's just a sales pitch. That's just a manipulation to get you to do what they want you to do. But understand that if you live in a way that is different to most people, if you own your own land, which I don't yet, if you have your own house, if you live in a more rural environment, closer to nature, if you save your money, if you don't buy a car or the newest car or whatever, you will be in a better position no matter what happens. And so if the economy is going to get cratered by the AI bubble for generations, or if AI somehow leads to prosperity for all, even though it's owned by a handful of companies, then you'll be fine regardless. Then no matter what happens, that's my backpack right there. Then no matter what happens, you'll be fine. And in fact, you'll be far better off regardless of what happens. So in conclusion, don't fall for consumerism, don't be silly, don't buy useless stuff that you don't need, and go hug your grandparents. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.